Hello, my friends, and welcome to Italy, a Place to Love YouTube channel, the channel where I like to talk about the good, the bad, and all we have to know about Italy. So, today we talk about the bad, and I want to put the accent on this word, the bad, even in brackets. All right, so basically, this is the story of an expat that is sharing her experience on Facebook on a group called Expats Living in Italy. If you are on Facebook, anyone can join. And if you want, you can also join my group on Facebook called Italy, a Place to Love, where I share a few things about the area where I live, the Basilicata region, the northern eastern part of Basilicata region at the border with Apulia. So, where I share my experience, where I post the videos. So, if you are on Facebook, if you are on this platform, you can join. But let's dive into this huge letter kind of shared on Facebook. Anyway, please put like and subscribe if you like this type of video. Let's go and let's enter into this awful experience uh, run by an expat living in Italy. So, hope Sam will find this post helpful. So, she wants to share her experience. Obviously, not every experience is fantastic, but we are all different. Everyone has a different experience. I won't comment much. Maybe I will comment a tiny bit at the end because, anyway, it's a long post. So let's focus on what she's saying. It's been a year since our family moved to northern Italy. Over the past year, I've realized something important. So many Americans glamorize the idea of moving here, of moving to Italy. They fall in love with their tourist trips, sipping cappuccinos in sunny piazzas, in sunny squares, strolling cobblestone streets, soaking up breathtaking views, and imagine that life in Italy will feel just like that. Here, I could have already comment, but anyway, let's at the end, let's keep reading her experience. But the truth, living here is a completely different experience. When you are a tourist, you handpick your hotels, your restaurant, your photo spots. You see the polished side, you see the beautiful side. You are shielded from the day to day struggles. Life as a resident is not the curated under the Tuscan sun dream. So it's not the curated under the Tuscan sun dream. It's complicated, frustrating, and very often lonely. And often very lonely. Okay. Anyway, here's some of the reality we have faced. Anyway, I'm reading this because I don't disagree with this person. Anyway, if she had an awful experience, if she regret moving to Italy, I can only understand her experience. So maybe someone else has a beautiful experience. So this is about an awful. It's about the bad that we also have to know. It's important to know about Italy. Now, first, social interactions. Unlike the Southern hospitality many of us grew up with, daily life in Italy can feel cold. People don't smile at strangers. They don't greet you when you pass on the street. And if you struggle with Italian, high rolls and dismissive comments are common. The whole idea of how they will warm up to you once you have earned their trust is just frustrating. Now, let me read again this sentence. The whole idea of how they will warm up to you once you have earned their trust is just frustrating. All right. The reality is you are simply an outsider to them. I don't want to judge. Then, bureaucracy. This is not just a stereotype. It's very real. It's very real. I put the accent. It's very real. Everyday tasks like getting a driver's license, healthcare cards, permits can take a lot of time with long waits and confusing processes. You see my eyebrows? Require endless documents, copies, and repeated visits. Offices close for random holidays and long breaks. Processing times drag on forever unless you have connection. If you have connections. And here, who you know really matters. Things simply don't move if you don't know. Hmm, hmm, hmm. Traffic tickets and driving system. Gas prices are painfully high, and Italy's ticketing system is confusing. You don't automatically receive notice of speeding or parking tickets. Instead, you have to physically go to the police station to check if you have any. Often you'll discover months later that you had an unpaid ticket. Now with hefty late fees attached. Obviously. Anyway, it's a pity I don't want to comment because I could comment a lot, agreeing and disagreeing, but let's keep my opinion, out from this video. Then public services. From post offices to public healthcare, efficiency isn't a priority. Doctors are overworked, overtired, underpaid, and the system is slow. A simple ER visit for something they consider minor, like food poisoning, dislocated limb, or infection, could mean waiting 10 12 hours. Again, I have a lot to say. There's a lot that I could say, but I keep shutting up. Unless you pay out of pocket for private care, the quality of medical service can be disappointing. Customer service. Let's talk about the customer service. Generally less efficient and attentive than Americans are used to. Stores may close unexpectedly, and the customer is always right isn't a big thing. Return policies are often very strict and would only grant you a store credit. Housing quirks. Rental rules can be strict. Heating systems old fashioned, and amenities like dryers, air conditioning, closets, or large kitchens, not as not as standards as in the US. All right. High utilities. Let's talk about the utilities. High utilities. Heating and electricity are shockingly expensive. In colder months, it's common to see bills of 800, 1000 euro per month or more per month. All right, I keep shutting up. Childcare and parenting culture. So while I can speak from direct experience with childcare or public schools, families should be prepared for cultural differences. Things I experienced. Random strangers may openly criticize your parenting, for example, if your kids aren't bundled up warmly enough or aren't wearing shoes at the playground. Let me read again this sentence. Things I experienced. Random strangers may openly criticize your parenting, for example, if your kids aren't bundled up warmly enough or aren't wearing shoes at the playground. Okay, let's keep going on. Pets. Pet ownership is expensive. Food and supplies cost 30% more than in the US. And vet visits, surgeries, and medicines are almost as costly as human healthcare. Our cat surgery cost us 3,500 euro, cat antibiotics 120 euro, simple antibacterial ointment 28 euro. Wow, this is a huge bill, I have to say. Obviously, to own a cat and a surgery for a cat, 3,500 euro. All right. Infrastructure and technology. Much of Italy feels outdated. The toll system is clunky and unreliable. Parking kiosks often don't work. Yet, if you can't pay, you still risk a ticket. Many businesses don't have functional websites, forcing you to call instead. And if you are if you are sorry, and if your Italian isn't fluent, that can be a nightmare. Even paying basic utilities online can be a struggle. Broken links, no clickable buttons, and weeks long email response times. Yeah, okay, let's keep going on because it's not over. So let's listen everything. Poorly taken care buildings. The moment you step outside the big tourist spots like Milan's Piazza Duomo, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, or any famous piazza, the illusion disappears. From a distance, everything looks picturesque, like a postcard, but up close, the reality hits. Buildings are peeling, paint is chipping, and foundations often look unstable. It's a stark reminder that Italy is stunning in photos, but much of the country is aging and undermaintained. The romanticized version tourist sees is carefully curated, not everyday life. All right. Then, job market and pay. Wow. Keep going on here. Work opportunities are limited and salaries are low compared to the cost of living. Without specialized skills or connection, it's very difficult to earn a sustainable income. Food reality. Yes, Italy is famous for food. Prices on dining out are quite high, at least not cheaper than in the US. Even small osterias or trattorias charge somewhere between 25 euro and 40 euro per person. But when you live here, the novelty wears off. It's pasta and pizza on repeat. Menus rarely change, and after a few months, it feels monotonous. A lot of dishes are average, nothing special. She's saying mediocre. Honestly, you could cook better at home. That's where I would on. But no, it's all right. Let's keep talking. Anti-American sentiment. Here we are nearly at the end and we are reaching the peak. Many Italians resent the American presence here. Just yesterday, I witnessed protests against Americans in Italy. See main photo. She show a photo. I mean, nothing to say. There's a general feeling that true Italians belong and everyone else is an invader. The undercurrent of hostility shows up in grocery stores, bank, hospitals, and schools. That said, there are positive. Travel within Europe is relatively inexpensive, so you can hop to another country in just a couple of hours. The natural beauty of Italy is undeniable: mountains, seas, lakes, and vineyards that make every view look like a painting. And yes, the cappuccinos are really delicious, and the pastries and the croissants are absolutely fantastic. But in the end, all of that is not enough to make Italy the easy life so many Americans imagine. The reality is far harsher and far more complex. This is a sentence that we have to keep in mind. But in the end, all of that is not enough to make Italy the easy life so many Americans imagine. The reality is far harsher and far more complex. So, before anyone packs their bag dreaming of an Italian fairy tale, I'd say take a step back. Living here is not like visiting here. It can be rewarding in its own way, but it's also deeply challenging. The warmth, convenience, and friendliness that many of us are used to into the US simply doesn't exist here in the same way. Moving abroad is an incredible experience, but it's not for the faint of a heart. And Italy, as beautiful as it is no exemption. Okay, my friends. So I'd say now, let me say a few words about this story. Let me spend few words. Now, I'd say that this person, first of all, should never have moved because obviously, but this is clear like the sun, like the sky. I mean, obviously, anywhere you move is different from the place where you're from. I mean, you shouldn't even question that. Obviously, you are coming to Italy, but how can you think, even before moving, that it's an easy life? I mean, if you think that it's an easy life, means that you haven't thought at all. You didn't even think at all for 1 second that you could have had challenges in Italy. Because I believe that any of us who is relocating to another country is relocating to a different culture, is relocating, and there are different problems, different things that I might find difficult, things that I might accept, things that I might not accept. It's like me if I move to the United States or if I move to Thailand. I'm moving to a different culture, I'm moving to a different lifestyle. So there are things that I might understand and things that I might not understand. Like in my experience in Ireland, for example, how many things I didn't like when I was in Ireland. Many things I liked, all right, but many I didn't. So, and I'm an Italian. I'm a person that is from this country that, according to her letter, is a country that is falling apart. And I partially agree. I mean, Italy has a lot of problems. The next few videos will be about the good about Italy and the bad about Italy. So, if you're choosing Italy, obviously you are choosing for the good things, but you are also aware about all the bad things because nowadays, with all the social medias, I mean, you can find out even before you are traveling to Italy what the situation is. It's enough you go on YouTube and you find plenty of expats who are sharing their experience in Italy. Some are depicting the place like a beautiful experience. Probably they had they didn't have many problems, but someone else who had a different experience, a negative one. So basically, will share the things that obviously drove that person mad, or they simply all the things that they didn't like about Italy, and they might say, "Okay, we are giving up. We go back to where we are from, or we go somewhere else." So overall, this is the situation. Doesn't matter where you move. If I'm moving and I'm thinking that I will find the same mentality of the place that I lived and that I left, that's wrong. That's completely wrong. I'd say this person had been totally unlucky. Totally. I'd say kind of creepy experience, to talk like this about Italy. I would use this, I'm using this word, I'd say creepy experience, because it seems like not even one thing didn't go well. Now, I feel sorry for her because obviously, but this is not everyone experience again. And obviously, visit many times. Anyway, it's a mindset. If the mind is set to live abroad, I would like to see any of the expat or anyone moving to Philippines, which is a very high demand destination for expats, or Thailand. I see so many video complaints about life in Philippines, life in Thailand, in these countries where technically life is cheaper, where it's not anymore cheaper. So if you're moving to Italy because you think life is cheaper, no, I mean, Italy is in the world like any other country. Nowadays, a cheap country doesn't even exist anymore. Believe me, I watch videos of an African man going to a country in Africa, and to do 1.5 kilometers, he paid $50 taxi. So even in Africa, and he was a native African. I mean, I'm not talking a tourist that is charged $50 for 1.5 kilometers. All right, my friends. So I hope you have enjoyed this story. Let me know under the comment section what are your thoughts about this experience, if you agree, if you disagree, and overall, anyway, your thoughts are important to me. Okay, my friends. So I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I'll see you here on Italy, a Place to Love YouTube channel to my next video. Bye.